is blah, 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 blah. Then the same old security row. They say, look, if you're not a working...
Because he wants to make it a royal tour.
Of course.
Yes.
He wants to monetize his presence here.
Of course.
What happens when one of the world's most famous couples discovers that royal status alone can't guarantee success? For years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle insisted they wanted freedom, privacy, and independence. They stepped away from royal duties, believing they could build an even bigger life on their own terms. But now, according to royal commentator Tom Bower and broadcaster Piers Morgan, that dream may be facing its biggest test yet. Their latest analysis paints a picture of growing financial pressure, damaged family relationships, and an uncertain future that has many royal watchers asking the same question.
Well, you don't get all the bells and whistles of security. He starts citing terror threats.
Has the cost of leaving the monarchy become greater than Harry ever imagined? Some commentators even believe King Charles may eventually consider whether the continued commercial use of royal titles is creating too much controversy for the crown. While no such decision has been announced, the discussion itself shows how strained the relationship has become. Adding even more intrigue, reports suggest that King Charles is not expected to hold a private meeting with Prince Harry during this summer's events surrounding the countdown to the Invictus Games. If true, it would mark another missed opportunity for father and son to rebuild trust after years of public disagreements. Then came another headline that immediately grabbed attention. Some royal experts claim Prince Harry now regrets many of the public statements he made about his family. Others strongly disagree, arguing that what he truly regrets isn't what was said.
His family and revealing the most extraordinarily intimate secrets.
But the consequences that followed. That debate has become one of the biggest talking points surrounding the Duke of Sussex. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, Harry and Meghan's situation is no longer driven by reconciliation or repairing family ties. They argue that financial realities have become impossible to ignore. Maintaining their California lifestyle reportedly comes with enormous annual costs. Security alone is believed to require millions of dollars each year. Add the expenses of a luxury estate, household staff, travel, and everyday operations.
Taking on the journalist for doing exactly what he does.
And the total quickly climbs into several $1 million annually. The challenge, critics argue, is generating enough income to support that lifestyle. Over the past few years, several high-profile business partnerships have either ended or changed direction. Their Spotify partnership concluded. Their Netflix relationship has evolved after major projects were completed. According to commentators, many of the couple's biggest commercial successes were closely tied to public interest in their royal story. Now, some observers believe that interest has begun to fade. Tom Bower argues that every major venture depends on attracting continued public attention, and without new royal revelations, maintaining that level of interest becomes far more difficult. He believes the couple's long-term financial model faces serious challenges if audiences lose interest in their personal story. The discussion then turns to Prince Harry himself. Public speaking once appeared to offer a promising future.
Trying to put up this fake sword of the shining...
But commentators question whether demand remains as strong as it once seemed. While Harry continues his work with BetterUp and several charitable organizations, critics argue that major paid speaking opportunities have become less frequent than many expected. Piers Morgan summarized what he believes is Harry's biggest dilemma. According to him, Harry wants to enjoy complete independence in California while still maintaining the prestige and influence that came with being a senior working royal in Britain. Critics say those two worlds simply cannot exist together. The privileges of royal life came with responsibilities. Walking away from those responsibilities, they argue, also meant walking away from many of the advantages that accompanied them. As the debate continued, another question emerged. If maintaining such an expensive lifestyle requires millions of dollars every year,
he had burgled his way into all the claimants' homes, laid wire traps.
Where will that income continue to come from? That question, more than any headline or family dispute, may now define the next chapter of Harry and Meghan's journey. And according to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, the financial story may only be the beginning. If the financial questions surrounding Prince Harry were already raising eyebrows, the conversation took an even more dramatic turn when attention shifted to Meghan Markle. According to commentators Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, the latest public opinion figures tell a story that many people weren't expecting. Over the first few months of 2026, Meghan's favorability ratings reportedly declined, while unfavorable opinions increased. Although public opinion polls naturally fluctuate over time, critics argue that this trend reflects a broader challenge facing the Sussex brand.
Always to smile. We know from his book that the smiles are often faked.
For years, Harry and Meghan commanded worldwide attention. Every interview, appearance, and business announcement generated headlines across the globe. But maintaining that level of public interest is never easy, especially after years of constant media coverage. Commentators believe that today's audience expects something new. Once the biggest royal revelations had already been shared through interviews, documentaries, and Prince Harry's memoir, they argue there was far less mystery left to keep viewers engaged. The discussion then moved to Meghan's lifestyle brand. When the company first launched, excitement was undeniable.
Now, Meghan, stuck probably in Portugal, is wondering what's her fate as well.
Products reportedly sold quickly, and supporters praised the elegant branding. However, critics now question whether that early momentum has been strong enough to support long-term growth. Reports discussed by royal commentators suggest website traffic has slowed compared to its earliest months. They also pointed to online engagement figures and customer activity as signs that maintaining excitement may be becoming increasingly difficult. Of course, supporters argue that every new business experiences periods of adjustment. Building a successful consumer brand takes time, and early sales alone rarely determine long-term success. But critics remain unconvinced. According to them, expensive marketing campaigns can only continue if sales consistently meet expectations. The conversation became even more heated when online resale listings began attracting attention. Some observers noticed that certain branded products were appearing on resale marketplaces not long after their release. While this can happen with many popular products, it sparked speculation across social media about customer demand and inventory. No official evidence has confirmed the reasons behind those listings. Yet the debate quickly spread across online communities. Then another controversy emerged. Reports claimed that a complimentary gift package from Meghan's brand had been sent to an online personality whose past social media activity had drawn significant criticism for comments about members of the royal family. The reports immediately generated strong reactions online. Supporters defended Meghan, saying there was no proof she personally approved every promotional decision. Critics, however, argued that public figures must be extremely careful about who becomes associated with their brands. Whether intentional or accidental, the incident added another layer to an already difficult public relations challenge. Meanwhile, attention returned to Buckingham Palace. Royal insiders quoted by several media outlets suggested that King Charles remains deeply cautious when it comes to rebuilding trust with Prince Harry. According to these reports, a private meeting during the upcoming summer period is not expected. If accurate, that decision would represent far more than a scheduling conflict. It would reflect years of damaged confidence between father and son. Trust, once broken, is often far more difficult to restore than many people realize. Commentators argue that one of the biggest concerns inside the palace is the possibility that private family conversations could once again become public. After several highly publicized interviews, documentaries, and Prince Harry's memoir, royal officials are believed to be extremely protective of confidential family discussions. Whether those concerns are fully justified remains a matter of opinion. But one thing is clear. The distance between Prince Harry and the royal family appears far greater today than anyone could have imagined just a few years ago. And as the family divide continues, another powerful figure inside the monarchy is quietly becoming impossible to ignore: Prince William. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, William's growing influence may now be shaping some of the most important decisions inside the royal family. If that's true, the next chapter of this royal story could be even more dramatic than anything we've seen so far. As the relationship between Prince Harry and King Charles appeared to grow even more distant, attention began shifting toward another key figure inside the royal family: Prince William. Many royal commentators believe that William's influence has steadily increased over the past few years. As the future king, His views naturally carry significant weight, particularly on matters involving the long-term reputation and stability of the monarchy. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, King Charles now appears more determined than ever to prioritize the institution over personal emotion. While every father would hope for reconciliation with his son, they argue that protecting the future of the crown has become the king's first responsibility. One decision, in particular, has fueled widespread discussion. Reports surrounding the future of Frogmore Cottage have once again become a talking point among royal observers. Once considered Prince Harry and Meghan's home in the United Kingdom, the property symbolized their place within the royal family. Today, many commentators see it as a reminder of how dramatically circumstances have changed. For critics, the message is straightforward. The era of Harry and Meghan serving as working royals has ended, and there appears to be little expectation that it will ever return. Supporters of the Sussexes, however, argue that Harry has expressed a willingness to cover accommodation costs himself whenever visiting Britain. They believe the disagreement is less about property and more about trust. And that single word, trust, continues to dominate nearly every conversation surrounding the royal family. According to royal commentators, palace officials remain concerned that private discussions could once again become public. After years of interviews, documentaries, and the publication of Spare, rebuilding confidence has become an enormous challenge. Piers Morgan argues that this is the central issue. In his view, the palace is no longer debating where Harry stays or how often he visits. Instead, the question has become whether confidential family conversations can remain confidential at all. That concern has reportedly influenced several recent decisions. Meanwhile, another comparison has generated debate among royal watchers. Some critics point out that other members of the royal family continue to enjoy royal residences or accommodations, leading them to ask why Harry's situation appears different. Commentators quickly offer their own explanation. They argue that every case must be judged on its own circumstances. According to them, the biggest distinction is that other royals did not publicly criticize the institution through global interviews, documentaries, or best-selling books. Whether people agree with that argument or not, it has become a recurring theme whenever Harry's future relationship with the monarchy is discussed. Tom Bower also suggests that King Charles may now be thinking beyond the present. With Prince William one day expected to inherit the throne, every decision made today could shape the challenges William faces in the future. Some commentators even warn that allowing two competing royal identities, one inside Britain and another based in California, could create unnecessary confusion for the monarchy's public image. For that reason, they believe the palace has chosen a much firmer approach. But while royal housing and family relationships continue making headlines, another issue has quietly become just as significant: money. Maintaining a high-profile international lifestyle requires enormous financial resources. Security, travel, professional staff, charitable commitments, business ventures, and luxury properties all come with substantial costs. According to several commentators, those financial pressures have only intensified as commercial opportunities become more competitive. This raises an obvious question. If future income becomes less predictable while expenses remain exceptionally high, how sustainable is that lifestyle over the long term? That question has become central to nearly every recent discussion surrounding Harry and Meghan. And according to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, the next developments may not come from Buckingham Palace at all. Instead, they believe the biggest challenges could emerge from the couple's own business ventures, public image, and the growing pressure to prove that their independent brand can continue thriving without relying on royal connections. As the debate intensifies, the spotlight is about to shift once again, this time toward Harry's hopes for reconciliation and whether the royal family is prepared to open that door. As speculations surrounding Prince Harry's future continued to grow, another question began dominating royal discussions. Is reconciliation still possible? Over the past several months, multiple royal commentators have suggested that Harry would like to repair his relationship with his father and brother. Some reports even claim he regrets parts of the public conflict that has defined the past few years. But not everyone is convinced. Tom Bower and Piers Morgan argue that genuine reconciliation requires something far more valuable than public statements. It requires trust. And in their view, that trust remains badly damaged. From televised interviews to the release of Spare, many private family matters became global headlines. For the royal family, critics say those events fundamentally changed how future conversations would be handled. Even if both sides wanted to rebuild their relationship, restoring confidence after years of public disputes would never be simple. At the same time, Prince William has continued to attract attention for a very different reason. Supporters often point to his public appearances as examples of a quieter approach to royal life. Whether attending official engagements, supporting charitable causes, or spending time with his family, William has generally avoided responding publicly to criticism. Royal observers believe that strategy has strengthened his image over time. Instead of answering every headline, he has largely allowed his actions to speak for themselves. Commentators argue that this difference in approach has created a striking contrast between the two brothers. While Harry's life has frequently been shaped by interviews and media coverage, William has remained focused on his constitutional role and long-term responsibilities as the future king. That contrast has become one of the defining narratives surrounding the modern monarchy. Meanwhile, questions continue to surround Harry and Meghan's public brand. Some analysts believe that the couple now faces a difficult balancing act. They must continue building successful business ventures while also convincing audiences that their story extends beyond royal controversy. That may prove to be one of the greatest challenges of all. Public curiosity can create enormous opportunities, but it can also fade surprisingly quickly. Several commentators argue that maintaining long-term success requires constant reinvention, especially when global attention begins shifting toward new stories and new public figures. For Harry and Meghan, that means every new project faces intense scrutiny. Every interview, every appearance, every business launch, every public statement. Supporters see determination and resilience. Critics see a couple still struggling to define their post-royal identity. The truth likely depends on who is telling the story. One thing, however, is difficult to ignore. The royal family itself appears to be moving forward. King Charles continues carrying out his constitutional duties while receiving treatment for cancer. Prince William is taking on an increasingly visible leadership role. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has also gradually returned to public engagements, drawing significant public support. As the institution looks toward the future, many royal experts believe stability has become the palace's highest priority. That may explain why hopes for a quick reconciliation continue to fade. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, repairing family relationships is no longer simply a personal matter. It has become closely tied to protecting the credibility of the monarchy itself. Whether that assessment is accurate remains open to debate. But one thing is undeniable. The relationship between Prince Harry and the royal family has reached a crossroads unlike anything seen in modern royal history. And just when it seems the story cannot become any more complicated, fresh debates over public image, future opportunities, and the Sussexes' next chapter begin raising even more difficult questions. Those developments may ultimately determine not only Harry and Meghan's future, but also how history remembers one of the most extraordinary royal departures of the modern era. As debate over Prince Harry's future continued, another question began circulating among royal commentators. Has the Sussex brand reached a turning point? For years, Harry and Meghan remained two of the most talked about public figures in the world. Almost every interview, appearance, or business announcement generated international headlines. But maintaining that level of attention indefinitely is an enormous challenge. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, the couple now faces a very different media landscape than they did when they first stepped away from royal duties. The biggest stories have already been told. The interviews have aired. The memoir has been published. The documentaries have been released. Now, many observers believe audiences are looking for something new. That shift has created an entirely different challenge. Instead of relying on public curiosity, future success may depend on consistently delivering projects that can stand on their own. Some commentators argue that this transition has proven more difficult than expected. Others believe it's simply the natural evolution of life after leaving the royal family. Either way, expectations remain incredibly high. Attention has also turned toward Harry's relationship with his brother. Recent reports have suggested that Harry hopes, at some point, to rebuild communication with Prince William. While those reports have generated widespread discussion, there has been no public indication that such a breakthrough is close. Royal experts often point to one major obstacle: trust. After years of highly public disagreements, many believe rebuilding that relationship would require time, patience, and complete privacy, something that has been difficult to achieve amid constant global attention. Meanwhile, Prince William has continued focusing on public service and preparing for the responsibilities that await him as the future monarch. Supporters praise his consistency. Critics argue every royal is judged differently. But regardless of opinion, William's public profile has remained remarkably stable during a period of significant change for the monarchy. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, that stability is one reason palace officials appear determined to avoid reopening old conflicts. Instead, they believe the institution is concentrating on the future rather than revisiting the past. At the same time, questions continue surrounding Harry and Meghan's commercial direction. Can they redefine themselves beyond their royal history? Can new business ventures capture the same level of public enthusiasm? Can they build a lasting global brand based entirely on their own achievements? Those questions remain unanswered. Supporters remain optimistic that the couple will continue evolving and finding new opportunities. Critics remain skeptical, arguing that the public's fascination has gradually shifted elsewhere. Whatever the outcome, one fact is difficult to dispute: Harry and Meghan remain among the most closely watched public figures in the world. Every move they make continues to generate headlines. Every new project sparks fresh debate. Every public appearance is analyzed from countless different perspectives. And perhaps that's the greatest irony of all. The couple once stepped away from royal life seeking greater independence and privacy. Yet years later, their lives continue to attract extraordinary levels of public attention. According to Tom Bower and Piers Morgan, the next few years may determine whether the Sussexes can successfully establish a lasting identity beyond the royal family, or whether they will always be defined by the institution they chose to leave. One thing is certain: this story is far from over. As new developments continue to unfold, the conversation surrounding Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the future of the royal family is likely to remain one of the most closely followed stories in the world.